I heard a rumour, gotta love a nice rumour, that you think that there's no such thing as hate speech. Is that right?
Yes, effectively. I mean, I'm on side with Elon Musk. Elon Musk is a First Amendment fundamentalist. He believes, which is the American position, there is no such thing as hate speech in America. Hate speech, again, we've got to understand how the idea of hate speech comes in. It comes in, bizarrely, through the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. And the countries that worked to limit the freedom of speech were the Soviet Union and its satellites. And they work persistently for 20 or 30 years, deliberately because they believe in censorship, deliberately because they believe in censorship and they want to censor. So, for example, the rules that you are not allowed to deny, for example, the Holocaust or to... Why do you hear so much from the Russians about this thing called fascism or the Nazis, even though we would think they're the Nazis and the fascists? It is, of course, because this has been the historic way they have all, after the Great Patriotic War, after the Second World War, their defeat of Hitler, this has been the way they have always argued for the limitation of freedom of speech. So hate speech is really a foreign import into an Anglo-Saxon tradition. English law, until very recently, sharply distinguished between words and action, which is exactly the point that Polly was making. You have no right to advocate violence. But the notion that a statement like, I deny that a trans woman is a woman, is an act of violence and therefore to be banned as violence, this is a perversion of language. And, this station's Andrew Doyle and his Titania McGrath are absolutely wonderful parodies of this. So, and there's another thing that we haven't put in place. At the moment, Twitter has become the principal instrument of online hate. The Twitter storm is the effective vehicle by which people I know are cancelled. It's done via a Twitter storm. And this seems to me to be monstrous, and it is deployed completely deliberately as a device. It's a combination of an inquisition and mob justice. It's an ugly and vile thing. And
yet it's not violence. Under your terms.
It is. Sorry, if you're on the receiving end of it, yes, it is violent. If you look what was done to... I'm sorry that this...
Okay. I'm just trying to understand the terms of the debate. So if somebody says... If 10,000 people were to tweet at a particular trans woman to say, you're not a woman, you're a man, I hate you, you're awful, for example, you shouldn't be allowed to say...
I think it's slightly different.
So I'm just trying to understand.
That is completely different from what I'm talking about.
OK.
It really is completely different. And if you make the statement, which is a reasonable statement, that I no more believe that it is possible for a man to become a woman by uttering a form of words than I do by, for example, that a piece of bread can turn into the host of body and blood of Christ if a priest says hocus pocus, hoc corpus. That is not hate. I merely expressed a reasonable position.